Disney's The Lion King, a read-aloud storybook. Adapted by Lisa Baker. A prince is born. The hot African sun rose on an amazing sight. Giraffes, zebras, elephants, and animals of all kinds were gathered at Pride Rock. This was an important day. King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi watched as Rafiki the wise baboon presented their newborn son to the kingdom. The animals cheered and bowed before Prince
Simba.
But one family member didn't attend the celebration. Mufasa's brother Scar. Scar was angry that he was no longer next in line to be king. Mufasa and his assistant Zazu went to ask Scar why he had missed the presentation of Simba.
"Oh, it must have slipped my mind,"
Scar sneered and he walked away. Simba grew into a playful and curious cub like Danu Disa. Early one morning, Mufasa brought Simba to the top of Pride Rock. "Everything that the light touches is our kingdom," he told his son. "One day the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king."
Wow!
Cried Simba.
But what about that shadowy place?
"You must never go across the border, Simba," said Mufasa sternly.
I thought a king can do whatever he wants,
said Simba. Mufasa explained.
"There's more to being king than getting your way all the time. You need to respect all creatures.
We are all connected in the great circle of life." Simba tried to listen, but he was busy chasing grasshoppers and practicing his pounce. Just then, Zazu arrived with important news. Hyenas had crossed into the Pride lands. Mufasa ordered Zazu to take Simba home and ran off to battle the hyenas.
I never get to go anywhere,
Simba complained. Back at home, Simba went to see his uncle Scar.
My dad just showed me the whole kingdom,
The cub bragged.
and I'm going to rule it all.
"Did he show you that place beyond the border?"
Asked Scar slyly.
"Only the bravest of lions would dare to go to an elephant graveyard."
Simba didn't see his uncle's evil trap. He decided to show his father what a brave cub he could be. Simba set out to find his best friend.
Nala.
She was lying with their mothers on a rock nearby.
Mom, can Nala and I go to this great place near the waterhole?
Fibbed Simba.
Simba.
"As long as Zazu goes with you," answered Sarabi.
We've got to dig Zazu.
Simba whispered to Nala.
Really going to elephant graveyard.
Simba and Nala laughed as they ran in and out of animal herds to escape from Zazu.
We lost him, cried Nala.
Together they played tumbling and rolling. With a thump, they landed next to a huge elephant's skull. Zazu caught up with them, but it was too late. Banzai, Shenzi, and Ed, 3 drooling hyenas with sharp teeth, surrounded them.
Mama, what's drooling hyenas?
That's an excellent question, David. Drooling hyenas are water dripping, saliva dripping from the mouth when you see something tasty to eat. Yes, that's called drooling. Yes. The hyenas grabbed Zazu first.
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
Shouted Simba. Then one tried to catch Nala, but Simba swiped his claws across the hyena's cheek. Suddenly, a tremendous roar shook the ground. It was Mufasa. His giant paw struck one of the hyenas as he growled, "If you ever come near my son again." The hyenas ran away before he could finish. Mufasa scolded his son on the way home. "You disobeyed me, Simba."
But I was just trying to be brave like you, Dad.
Said Simba softly. "Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble," replied Mufasa. Then Mufasa told Simba how the kings of the past looked down on them from the stars above. They will always be there to guide you, and so will I. Scar's trap. Scar was angry when the hyenas told him that Simba had escaped. But he quickly came up with a new plan to get rid of Simba and his father. "I will be king," he cried. The next day Scar found Simba. "Your father has a surprise for you," he said. Scar led Simba down a steep gorge and told him to wait there. Then Scar signaled the hyenas to frighten a herd of wild beasts. The panicked animals stampeded right towards Simba. Hearing the thunder of hooves, Mufasa looked into the gorge and saw his son. He leaped down and saved Simba's life. Simba was safe, but Mufasa was still in danger. As he tried to climb away from the stampede, the rocks crumbled beneath them. Struggling up the cliff, Mufasa saw Scar. "Brother, help me," he cried. Scar dug his sharp claws into Mufasa's paws and whispered, "Long live the king." Then he let Mufasa go, and he disappeared beneath the herd below. Simba had seen only that his father had fallen. When the stampede was gone, Simba ran to Mufasa. He tried to wake him up.
Get up, Papa, get up.
But the Lion King was dead,
Help! Help! Help!
cried Simba. Scar came to Simba's side. "If it weren't for you," he said, "your father would still be alive. Run away and never return." Heartbroken, poor Simba ran away as fast as he could. Scar sent the hyenas out to kill Simba, but the cub escaped them once more. Danu, had Simba killed his papa?
No.
Who killed his
His
papa?
uncle had killed his father.
Father. But what did the uncle tell Simba? The uncle told Simba, "Simba, you killed your papa." Yes? Was the uncle a truthful?
Liar, liar, bum on fire.
Oh. Scar was certain that Simba was dead. He went back to Pride Rock and told everyone the news. "It is with a heavy heart," he lied, "that I become your new king." Everyone in the Pride Lands mourned for their beloved king and Simba. Meanwhile, Simba was far away from the Pride Lands. The ground turned dry and cracked beneath him. The hot sun beat down as vultures circled above his head. Exhausted and unable to go any farther, Simba slumped to the ground. Plop. After a long while, Simba awoke. Everything around him looked different. There were trees and grass and flowers instead of desert. A meerkat named
Timon,
and a warthog named
Pumbaa.
had brought him to their home. "You nearly died," said Pumbaa.
Pumbaa.
"We saved you," cried Timon. Thanking them, Simba stood up and started to leave. Pumbaa asked Simba where he was from, but Simba didn't want to answer.
I did something very terrible, but I don't want to talk about it.
"You got to put your troubles behind you, kid," said Timon. "No past, no future, no worries. Hakuna Matata."
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata is no passing phrase.
It means no worries.
For the rest of your days,
For
it's
the
a problem-free.
Philosophy.
Hakuna
Matata.
Hakuna
Matata.
Simba decided to stay with his new friends. Simba's choice. Years passed and Simba grew into a young lion. One night while looking up at the stars, Simba remembered his father's words. "Someone once told me that the great kings of the past are up there, watching over us," he said to his friends, Timon and Pumbaa. The next day, Pumbaa was chasing a bug when a fierce lioness sprang at him from the tall grass. He screamed and ran away, but got stuck beneath a fallen tree. "Ah! She's gonna eat me!" he squealed. Simba heard his friends' cries and rushed to help. Simba wrestled with the lioness, but then realized she was his old friend.
Nala.
"You're alive," she said happily. "That means you're the king." Nala told Simba how Scar had destroyed the Pride Lands. "Simba, if you don't do something, everyone will starve,"
I can't go back.
said Simba angrily, and he turned and walked away. Simba thought about what Nala had said.
I won't go back.
He said to himself.
It won't change anything.
Just then, Simba heard a chanting song from the jungle. Rafiki the baboon came walking towards him. "If you want to see your father again, look down there," Rafiki said, pointing into the pool of water next to them. Simba saw the face of his father staring back at him. "You see," said Rafiki, "he lives in you." Now Simba looked up and saw his father's face in the stars and heard his voice. "Look inside yourself, Simba. Remember who you are. You are my son and the one true king." The next morning, Rafiki found Nala, Timon and Pumbaa. He told them that Simba had returned to the Pride Lands. "He's gone back to challenge his uncle," cheered Nala. When Simba reached the Pride Lands, he was saddened by what he saw. His homeland that was once green and beautiful had turned barren under Scar's rule. Bravely, Simba continued on his journey. When Simba arrived at Pride Rock, he let out a roar that shook the earth. Scar was surprised and frightened. He thought the hyenas had killed Simba long ago.
This is my kingdom!
shouted Simba.
Step down, Scar!
Scar ordered his hyenas to attack. They surrounded Simba and drove him to the edge of a cliff. Simba grabbed onto the rocks with his claws as Scar stood above him. That's just the way your father looked before I killed him, snarled Scar. Then Simba realized that it had been Scar who killed his father, and that it was not he who had killed his father. With new strength, Simba lunged onto the rock and attacked. At that moment, Nala, Timon, and Pumbaa arrived, and a battle broke out on Pride Rock. This time, Simba trapped Scar at the steep edge of Pride Rock. Sparing his life, he ordered his uncle to run away and never return.
Run away and never return, Scar!
Scar pretended to leave, but then turned and lunged at Simba. Simba swiped his great claw and Scar fell to his death in the gorge below. Simba took his rightful place as the Lion King, and once again the land flourished. Soon all the animals gathered at Pride Rock to celebrate the birth of Simba and Nala's cub. The circle of life would continue.
The end.
This story is dedicated to David and Daniel Dissa, two brothers from Santines, the two lion kings of their mama and papa's eyes.
Thank you, Lord. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, I love you, save soul.